You're listening to Amazing Radio. This is Amazing Afternoons. Delighted to say that in the studio we have Meryl Streek. Meryl, how are you doing?
Hey Frankie, how are you? Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here in Amazing Towers. You're currently on a UK tour, which is always exciting and full of adventures. Glasgow last night, but I'm hearing it didn't accordingly go to plan.
We had a few burst pipes last night in Glasgow.
What are you doing to the fans out there?
Yeah, I don't really know. Glasgow City Council anyway, but we had to pull the gig unfortunately, and it was a shame because we had a lot of people travel from Edinburgh, Aberdeen, and it is what it is, I guess, you know.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But the tour continues. Newcastle tonight, off to then Leeds, Todmorden, Manchester and Lancaster. Do you enjoy touring?
It's funny, if you had asked me that yesterday I would have said yes, but I'm feeling a bit fragile today and my answer might vary. But no, I do. I like touring. It's great to see the momentum kind of building as we're going, and I think the album and stuff is slowly getting more and more attention. So it's been great seeing how people are reacting to the album, definitely, you know.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing that more with more acts that come through here. They are definitely organically growing at a rate which is sustainable as an artist. Are you seeing that, you know, you're feeling that yourself?
Oh, 100%. Like, I used to play in bands for years. I've been touring for like 10 years and we've had some pretty bad tours where we come back with no money, but this one it's people are just really into the merch, they're into the live show, so it's just been really attracting a lot of people. It's been great, you know, and it's even the contrast of fans and stuff has been weird. Like it's of all age categories, which is interesting to see as well, you know.
I think maybe they are connecting though with the you know, the content of the tracks, you know.
Absolutely,
I think the kind of social backdrop to society these days, let's be honest, it's pretty crap.
It's pretty grim, all right, yeah.
And you're reflecting that through your kind of avant-garde punk style, you know, which is resonating with, you know, other acts nationally. You got Sleaford Mods, there's a band we play called Benefits, are doing the same thing. It's punk music, but it's punk music in 2023, isn't it? It's
well needed punk music, and yeah, I chat to your Kingsley from Benefits quite a bit, so we're hopefully doing something very soon. And yeah, man, another guy who's doing the right thing. He's just speaking up about this stuff and trying to.
But it's not even speaking up though, is it, Meryl? It's just holding a mirror up to society.
It's just being honest. It's basically just saying how it is, and I think that's why I think that's what people want at this point. There's a lot of bands out there that are not saying enough or not saying anything at all. And yeah, with this album, it's just all about kind of hitting the home with the message, you know. And
I think that's why the album's still resonating with people, or maybe if they're just connecting with your music, that's why it's relevant, isn't it?
Of course.
Every time you pick up a newspaper, you're seeing, I don't know, corruption in some way, politically, or you know, the ruling classes are, you know, being not very nice to the working man, if you like, if to use an old term.
Not very nice at all. It's getting tougher and tougher out there for a lot of people, and I think I personally think in the next 6 months to a year there's going to be a lot more of these angry bands coming out, you know, because what more can you do?
People have had enough, haven't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have, you know.
I mean, that's again a good thing about you're using art to channel that into something positive, aren't you? Yeah. Something creative. But it's never been a worse time either to be an artist, really, has there? The support from government or anything like that. The bodies and pots of music sometimes seem to go to the usual suspects as well, and you feel like a bit of an outcast.
Also as well, Frankie, I've said this from the day one, like the amount of art, albums, movies, anything at all over the years that people haven't been able to do or finance themselves without working a full-time job. The amount of albums we've missed because of this. We've probably had most incredible artists, musicians out there, but have never released music because they've been stuck to a 9-to-5 job, you know. It's mad, you know. There's talented people out there that don't know it, you know.
And culture, of course, enriches lives, and those people who need culture the most are normally deprived of it.
Yeah.
And that's how, you know.
Totally, that's the way it goes.
It needs to be spun on its head, doesn't it, really?
Does, yeah.
The album's great when we've loved the tracks from it here on Amazing as well. But what's the live setup like? What if we were going to the gig tonight, what we're going to see on stage?
I call it angry karaoke because it's just me and a really intense strobe light screaming in your face.
Because on the record, there's all sorts on there. There's all sorts. There's a lot of time gone over down the layers on that record.
Totally, but
the atmosphere is perfect for it.
Yeah, but the live thing is kind of it's been weird. I was gonna go and get a band and stuff, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and do this up by myself. And I genuinely feel the live show has been the best part of this. People leave genuinely shook, as if they've seen something new, which is great, and that's what I've always wanted, you know.
Yeah.
They have an angry Irish man in contact lenses screaming in their face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it only costs you £7, so I mean, like, it's a good deal if you ask me.
Yeah, and also you haven't got a van either as well.
That's
so touring
true.
costs come right down.
100%, yeah.
But of course, touring as well, always every day is an adventure. You were saying earlier that maybe your accommodation so far has not been great. Well, what's going on there?
I'm gonna make a book out of the stories of accommodation on this tour. Me and Tom have been, having some funny Airbnbs. Just always read the reviews. That's what I'm gonna learn and take home from this.
See, the thing, when I was touring in a band, we always just played it safe and got a Travelodge every night because you were like, 20 quid, it's exactly the same picture on the wall every night. You know,
It's just the
it's the same.
We have
And
to do
also, but the thing about that is, if it's the same every night, you feel like you're going home because it's the same
Yeah,
room. But
yeah,
even though you're in a
right,
different
actually.
city,
Man,
everything's
you're
the
right.
same.
You are right. I'm gonna start doing that. Yeah, you're right.
You know, I mean, some murders have happened on that bed probably, but you know, you're getting in at 1 o'clock in the morning anyway.
But it's cheap. It's cheap.
It's cheap, you know. There's a certain standard of, you know, there's a level there anyway, isn't it? So yeah, after tonight, Newcastle, Leeds, Todmorden, Manchester and Lancaster, are you feeling the northern crowds more responsive to your music?
Well, I don't know because we got a cancelled gig last night, so
Yeah.
we have to see. I'll let you know tonight.
Yeah.
I think tonight's going to be really good though. I've been excited for Newcastle and I've been really excited for Todmorden because it's meant to be just this weird, unique place to have UFO meetings and stuff once a week. So I was like, okay, sign me up. That sounds great.
It seems to be on the map at the moment as well. The people I speak to, bands I speak to regularly, they're like playing Todmorden, and I was like, isn't that just like a truck stop on the
I know,
A1?
it's
I was
really
like,
weird.
No,
like,
they've said it's a really cool pub there. Yeah.
Vice magazine did a huge documentary on this
did,
bar and
yeah.
stuff like, and it's been pretty good. So I'm interested to see how this week goes. Totally, yeah.
So what happens after the tour then?
I go home to bed. I don't talk about this for another year. No, what happens after the tour? I'm back in Dublin for 6 days and then I'm in Paris.
Right.
Yeah, and then I have a few weeks off and and then we just keep going. Summer starts then. Well, it's only around the corner really, and then festivals and stuff, you know.
Fezzies.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I haven't announced anything yet, but we have some exciting news to announce soon. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on that. What I mean, just generally away from the touring life.
Yeah.
What's the usual process for yourself? Then are you completely self-sufficient? Do you go into like a studio, or do you do everything yourself? Or?
Yeah, I do everything myself. I record vocals with Dan Doherty, who was the first guy on Fontaine's DC's original demos, and then he released the Darklands EP with them after the first album. But I do a lot of recording vocals with Dan. But other than that, I do everything myself. In
terms of Dublin, where you reside, I mean, the amount of music we've been playing from Ireland, in particular Dublin, to be honest, over the last few years, it's mad.
It's mad.
It's mad. It was always like maybe, you know, we're an international radio station on AmazingRadio.com, so we broadcast around the world, and we play loads of Aussie bands. A lot of Swedish bands, lots of a few acts from France, Belgium, that kind of thing. Scottish acts, obviously, English indie bands, all that kind of thing. Yeah. But the last maybe 18 months, it's just been all Irish music.
And you know what, man? Every city we've gotten to, someone has said that to me. It is actually surreal.
But it's good.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
The standard is brilliant.
It's putting us on the map, which is well needed, man. Because I played in bands like maybe 10 years ago in Ireland, and we did the odd gig here and stuff with BDI, with Liam Gallagher and stuff, and that was the tip of the iceberg for us. Like we had worked 7 years to get to that point, and then after that we didn't do anything. Like we kind of just broke up. But now there's actually just so much heat on it that there is ways to get out there further, you know. And
definitely.
Actually,
so definitely it's reflected here, that. But what about back home? Is there an infrastructure of festivals or...
You know what, man?
There was a big one, wasn't there?
Electric Picnic.
Yeah, and then there was like...
You know what, man? I'm not going to speak highly of any of the Irish festivals because they don't give the Irish artists an option to play them unless you're at a point where you're known, you know. They just don't look after the kind of small guys that are trying to get on festivals, and they should. They mainly focus on international acts, getting them in and stuff, and paying top dollar. And if you do get to play Electric Picnic and you are an Irish act, the only thing you will get is a free ticket to the festival, which I think needs to get scrapped, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess before Tea in the Park turned to Transmit, they always used to have the they kind of the Scottish act stage and stuff like that, and they would
Yeah, like,
always do that kind of
see,
thing.
that's great. Do you know what I mean?
That should be reflective
it's
at most
showcasing
festivals.
the country, and yeah, I think that definitely needs to happen at Electric Picnic. But as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been a thing.
Someone in the Irish kind of culture department needs to understand that the bands are breaking all around the world.
Yeah.
You got like Fontaine's probably one of the biggest bands in the world.
It's a tourist thing as well, man. It's good for the country. It's good. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have crazy Fontaine's fans that would want to come into Ireland to see these places and see certain sites, and they should embrace the music and the talent in Ireland and not kind of make it difficult for people,
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited about your music and what's going to come next. Of course, we're thoroughly enjoying 796 at the moment as well. But when do you think we could get more new music? 2023 is.
I recorded 3 songs 2 weeks ago, and I actually I've been ending the tour with one of the new songs, a song called Paddy, written about my uncle, and it's been going down better than any of the other songs. It's quite fascinating. So yeah, the new album should be done and ready to go by the start of summer, I think.
Excellent.
I just need 2 more hands. I can't do everything, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm hoping by summer, we'll have a new album ready to go.
And where can people find all your stuff? Is there one spot, or just follow you on all the socials?
I use Instagram the most if you want to keep up to date with the most kind of day-to-day Meryl Streek stuff, but then I'm on Twitter and the usual stuff, and Spotify and everything else, but Instagram is where I'm at the most.
Cool. Thanks very much. Meryl Streek.
No worries. Thanks so much, Frankie.